This sort of brought up this issue that actions might actually be sometimes just gathering information about the state of the world, as against necessarily changing the world. Even though, to some extent, what Heisenberg said is true, every test eventually also has some impact on you. Like if they do huge number of X-rays on you to make sure that you don't have cancer, you will have cancer. Right? You see what I'm saying? Tests also have some impacts, but but the point is, sometimes the tests will have, mostly are being done for information gathering. Okay, so I mentioned these things, so we will kind of end with that quiz. So these are the definitions: accessibility, deterministic, static, episodic, and discrete. Actually, discrete essentially means the system goes through a finite set of discrete states. By the way, all these will be available on the piazza, so you don't need to take pictures of it. You should take pictures of me, I won't be available. But so the discrete versus continuous, is the state trajectory a state of continuous states, or is it discrete set of finite states? That makes a difference. And similarly, agents, number of agents in the environment, are they competing or cooperating? So in fact, agents are part of the environment. One interesting question is, if there are agents in the environment, the agents have mental states. And the question would then be modeling their mental states, trying to figure out what the other agent on Mill Avenue who is driving next to me is actually trying to do. Is she trying to run me out of the road, or is she just going on with her life? This becomes important when there are actual animate agents in the environment. Environment itself doesn't care about you one bit. The static environment doesn't care about you. But the other agents can be cooperative, can be competing, can be indifferent. Environment is always indifferent. Do you see what I'm saying? To understand this, remember the stupidity of the Star Wars narrative. And if you don't, watch the Family Guy episode on Star Wars narrative, where why would you make Death Star, which is supposedly completely inviolable, except there is this little place where if you just go hit it, the whole thing blows up. Well, because nature doesn't care. If there are lightnings, etc., there's very low chance that lightning will hit you there. But if Harrison Ford is coming, he won't be hitting the rest of the Death Star. He will just go there. Do you see what I'm saying? Saying that I have this great house, except there is this one little problem that I put for the aesthetic reasons, which is what Family Guy says about Star Wars, is stupid. If you have agents who are actually adversarial to you. On the other hand, nature is not out to get you. So it doesn't matter. Okay? That one small hole wouldn't have killed the Death Star if it was just natural occurrences. But when they have people who can make decisions to kill the Death Star, that small hole is a huge big hole. Okay, so adversaries matter quite significantly. Okay, let's try this. Since we brought this up, let me see. Finish. Get report. Just 1 second.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Any editor.
Okay. Fine. Now I go to features. True, false. Okay. So, I don't know, people are already about to start doing, but here's my question. Is chess static? Is the first statement correct? Is it true or false? Chess is static while soccer is dynamic. Chess is static while soccer is dynamic. I would take true as the correct answer, which more or less most of you have given. So in fact, I'm going to show you, I probably should show you because you'll see what other people say. So 99% of you said true and 1% said false. You can argue in ways, but mostly chess is static. And then the soccer is dynamic, because while you are not doing anything, ball is still moving, people are still moving. The second question, so let me just finish this. And then now the second question. Okay, the second question is, chess is deterministic while soccer is stochastic.
True.
Okay. 99% said true, 4% said false. Anybody who said false would like to say something as to why this statement is wrong? Yes?
You don't know what your opponent's going to do
Which one?
in chess.
Okay, those are the good points to make. So in terms of what is deterministic, right after your move, the board configuration is deterministic. If on the other hand you consider your move plus your opponent's move as one move, then you cannot see actually what's going to happen to the board, because the opponent also has. So normally you consider chess to be a deterministic game because right after your move, you know exactly what the board configuration will look like. Okay, that is fine. The next one is chess is fully observable while soccer is partially observable.
This is only the second.
This is actually interesting. I'll show you this. I just keep changing my micro expressions and see if those answers. Anyway, so again, chess is fully observable while soccer is partially observable. Who are somebody who said in the minority? Could they explain why they said it's false? Somebody who said false. Yeah, 20% of you. Don't be shy. The 20% just disappeared. They're not in the class. There's no reason. There's a good reason. That guy who gave the minority reason actually thought through. It's fine to think that way. It makes sense. So, who said this statement is false? Yes, go ahead. What was the reason? So he's 20% of the grade of this class just goes to him. The rest of the 50% won't get anything. So go ahead.
Because while the board and the pieces, you do observe them, but the different permutations, positions are not, there's a big amount of permutations.
No. That guy's answer will still work here. If you want to actually make sense of why chess is partially observable, you have to think that what you really care about is my move, opponent's move, my move, opponent's move. And I know what I am doing. I have no idea what the opponent is going to do. By the way, one of the interesting things that chess games do is they will play conservatively. They assume perfectly rational opponent. And so in some sense, that too is deterministic. They will assume, given my move, my opponent will make the move that will cause the maximum damage to me. If Star Wars guys thought so, they wouldn't have put that hole. They were just hoping for, kind of dumb opponents. But by the way, because chess games, the chess programs assume perfectly rational opponent in modeling the opponent, they don't lose. Mostly they tend to draw. But then if you make them play your 2-year-old nephew or niece, who can't tell the difference between a chess piece and a piece of candy, they will still take for every move humongous amount of time. Because they don't know, maybe this kid is kind of playing some kind of a trick. After first few times of eating up that pawns, it will make Gary Kasparov style. Okay, so that's basically how they convert into determinism. The last one, and then you get to go, is chess is discrete while soccer is continuous. Oh my God, that's so simple.
So now this is for number 4. It's just
Okay, so actually I'll ask one more question before you leave. What's the, between chess versus poker? Let's ask this question about observability. Chess versus poker. Is poker fully observable or not? That's why actually Liberator's program in essence was a bigger achievement than AlphaGo. Because AlphaGo was playing a deterministic game, which is Go. Chess, whereas to play poker, you have to model your opponent. Because you don't know the state of the cards. And you need to consider all possible distributions. We'll stop here.
my name is Will.